So I am pleased to be joined by, since 2022, the Commissioner of the MEAC, Sonja Stills. Welcome to the ride, and I'm just so glad that you're joining me today.
Well, thanks for pulling over and letting me on for the ride.
Well, I tell you, this is a very smooth ride, and as a guy who loves roller coasters, we have, it's a roller coaster ride in HBCU every single day, but
Mhm.
this will be a very smooth ride for you. So, again, thanks for joining me, and I just first off want to start off with just some congratulations in order, because you were honored as 2025 Nike Executive of the Year. So first off, congrats to you for that. And just kind of talk about just your impact on your drive for advancing opportunities for women and minorities.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for that. I that was like a huge honor, being at the conference for 23 years. And just looking at my career and it's very humbling experience. And I just love doing what I do to be able to provide opportunities for, the younger folk, I always say, and for particularly, for minorities, women, I've been a part of or have ran the Women in Athletics Professional Development Workshop, and just the new or the individuals that we have in the office. I have Hispanic, white diversity, that shows the type of diversity that is at our institutions. We have that in our staff as well. But I always want to be able to use my platform as a way to advance our young folk.
That is excellent. That is excellent. And it's one of the things that I remember when you and I, when we first met last year at the Celebration Bowl, when we were talking about, just your tenure and things like that. That was one of the first things you brought up, was just about, hey, this is not just a platform for me, but it's more a platform for we. So
Yes.
that is outstanding. And so with this award, um, how do you see this award just more into the future, in relation to, just with the MEAC itself? Do you see just this type of leadership? Do you see it just continuing to transition its way, not just from the sporting realm, but also over to the academic realm as well?
Oh, yeah. So, for instance, during the basketball tournament, we have a student leader symposium, and it's not for just student athletes. It's for those student leaders on campus, the SGA individuals. We want to reach the campus, and so our involvement has always reached across the campus. We meet with the alumni directors, we meet with the admissions directors because we want to be able to be that pipeline um, to our corporate partners, so that they know that if they're looking for a diverse um, pipeline of individuals into corporate America, that they can come through HBCUs to do that. So I think that's the most important part of what we do as a conference, is to be able to not always be centric in the athletic side, because athletic reaches everywhere. It's the front porch to the university. And so we have to pay attention to not only our student athlete focus, but the whole institutions as a whole.
That's excellent. And so now moving into, as I said before, you took over in 2022, and
Mhm.
now we're closing this year here, 2025. So it brings me to my next point. We talked about when you took over, you said you had a 5-year strategic and long range plan. So where is that plan, and where is it year to date, and then where is it headed to, as you get getting closer to 2027 now?
Yeah. So I, actually, the great thing about it is we've been very intentional about looking at the plan as we plan for the year. And then we report out to the membership each year about where we are as we progress. Because it's not a conference office plan, it's a MEAC conference as a whole inclusive plan with one shared vision. We had our athletic directors, students, coaches, other administrators to put this plan together as to how we're going to move together to move forward. And so we've definitely made strides when we look at visibility, the things that we've been able to do with that, mental health, as we look to see how we're going to expand as a conference, but how does the foundation look? Are we looking at how we celebrate our students with the importance of academics? We have our academic performance rate award that's financially backed. Same thing with our graduation success rate, financially backed. And so we're making strides. There's things that we need to tweak just because the college landscape has changed. And so those are things that we are talking about or getting ready to talk about during our midwinter meetings, of what do we need to look at, that we need to tweak as we move forward as a conference. And then pretty soon it's going to be time to get into a new strategic plan, but it may be just looking at what we have now and just altering it a little bit. But what I'm really, really pleased about is that we're being very intentional and not, have a strategic plan and just put it on the shelf and say we did it,
Right.
but be able to really look at, are we meeting those goals, and what we need the membership to help us meet those goals as well.
All right. And so now, as we get ready for Celebration Bowl next week, you guys just recently just recrowned South Carolina State as the champion of football again. And, and it was a really wonderful season. I've had a really, really good time covering this league. You got some really good coaches in this league,
Yes.
and also some really good players. So just kind of talk about the season as a whole, according to the commissioner's view.
It's been an awesome season. You could not have imagined, when we started at the media day, and you have all the predictions of what you thought the season was going to look like and then how it ended up. I think the only consistent piece was South Carolina State, a repeat of an undefeated season. But to see Delaware State, who predicted to be at the bottom, and look what happened. You came down to South Carolina State, and then this Delaware State who hasn't been anywhere above, the halfway mark. And so that just really speaks to the competitiveness of our conference. And like you said, the great coaches that we have, with Central consistently, Howard Moore. It doesn't matter who you think is going to win, because any team can knock somebody off. And so it really makes it really exciting, because it got all the way to the end, the
Right.
last game, to determine who is going to the bowl. So I thought it was an amazing season, and a growth, and I can see what it's going to be like next year, even more excitement.
Yeah. And so with that, your league, you also brought in two very prominent head coaches, Michael Vick and also Deshaun Jackson. So
Yeah.
from your view, what did their involvement in the league, what did it do for year one? Did it lead to, would you see an uptick of media coverage? Did you see, just what were the impacts for those two guys?
Yeah, so with Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson, it definitely brought in more visibility to the conference, which is awesome. More eyes on the conference, the institutions themselves, and then HBCU. So it really got the visibility up there. I think it's the opportunity that they have here in the MEAC conference, um, which is just another thing about why HBCUs are so great. Is because we give
Mhm.
you those opportunities where there are no opportunities. And so, what a better way for them to join Division I football than to start here at the conference. Um, but I think the what they have done in bringing more eyes to the talent of the student athletes that come to HBCUs has been immense. And so I just look forward for them to continue doing what they're doing and changing those student athletes' lives and just helping to do more for their institutions.
That's awesome. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't ask this. So we're talking about media coverage and media rights, and I know that I've watched all the games on ESPN Plus, and it's been a really really good thing. And also, you've had some of your games like the South Carolina State North Carolina Central game get televised on a Friday. Also, Delaware State and Norfolk State being televised on a Thursday nationally.
Yes.
But I also covered the SWAC, and I graduated from a SWAC school, and they recently launched SWAC TV.
Mhm.
Is this something that the MEAC would be open to in the future, or is it something that's already kind of in? I mean, you could say whatever you want on that.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've already had we've had the MEAC digital network. So
Mm-hmm,
we've already been working in that realm.
mm-hmm,
We've had the countdown to kickoff football show that we've had. So we've already kind of been working in that in the background. I do see us in the future of developing or expanding the MEAC digital network. Um, and as we look at our partnership with ESPN and how we can bring again more visibility, not only to our revenue sports, but more importantly for our Olympic sports who
mm-hmm.
don't get that. Um, we want to be able to put our product out there where it's not behind a paywall
Right.
so that our fans, the student athletes families, particularly our international students, have access to see their student athletes perform. And so I do see that in the future for us, probably sooner than later. But as we continue, you will still continue to see our product out there on ESPN. They've been a great partner of ours. And you wouldn't think, okay, a game on a Friday night, what great competitive games they were, and the
Mm-hmm.
turnout was amazing. And so that's things that we need to look at as we move forward on how our multimedia rights will look as we go into the future.
All right. Now, in the final minute here, Celebration Bowl next week. Obviously, South Carolina State is your champion, and they're your representative. We know
Yes.
what it was last year when they went. What what would this mean for the MEAC to get back in the win column after two SWAC victories in this thing?
I know it's like a 6-3 thing, and I really want to be cocky, but the fact is, it's these teams are so competitive. They're so really good. So it's a victory for HBCUs. It doesn't matter who goes in and does that. And Charles McClellan does a great job in leading the SWAC. And so, but but it would be awesome, epic if we could bring that trophy back on home to the MEAC. You know, the dominance that we've had in the MEAC swag challenge and with the celebration bowl on the 10th anniversary, where we were the first to win with A&T, and then if we end epic. That's all I can say, epic. But I'm happy.
Well, hey, we're definitely gonna see, and you know, I'm looking forward to being back down there. I'll be doing the media as I did last year, so I'm just so appreciative. Thank you for taking the time to sit down with me, and you know, congrats again on all your success, and you know, best of luck to South Carolina State in the Celebration Bowl, and then everything that the MEAC conference is and will be in the years to come. So thank you.
Right. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you next week.
Absolutely.